we going to get into today? Well, the story is I was wanting to make a scotch, but I really technically can't make a scotch because I'm not in Scotland, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to call it a peated whiskey. Hey, and it's going to be I really couldn't find a whole bunch of recipes out there. So I kind of combined the ones I thought of, and we are going to, I knew what ingredients I wanted, and they're right here in front of me. I wanted 2-row barley. You got to have some peated barley, and I'm using some flaked barley because I know that is not malted, and it will taste a little bit different. Unmalted barley is a little different taste than malted barley for some reason. Okay, so like I said, I knew what ingredients I wanted, but how much of each? I don't really know. So what we're going to do is we are going to use the Stillworks and Brewing grain bill worksheet, and I have made a couple little additions to it. And it's going to help us figure out the quantity we want. And, you know, it's a building point. If we make this and we want to change it up a little bit and make it a little bit better, we can do that. But this is where our start is going to be. Okay? But first things first. Welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy, and this is a channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. All right. I guess one of the first things, and you know, a lot of people know these answers, but there might be a few that don't, and we want to help everybody. All right. So one of the first things you might want to know is what is peated, or what is a peated malt? Well, that's a great question, but we got to start at the beginning. All right. So what is malt? All right. Malt is a grain. And the long and the short answer, what they do is they get the grain wet and then they warm. And what happens in the seed is the seed is actually full of starch. There's no sugar in that seed at this point in time. So, but what we need as distillers is we need sugar, because, you know, we can't use, that's what we need for the yeast to eat, is the sugar. All right, so let's get back on it. So they get it wet and they keep it warm, and what happens inside that seed is it starts to grow, and the seed can't use starch either. It needs sugar for the seed to grow. So what it does is it produces an enzyme that converts that starch over into sugars, right? So that's what they do, is they get it warm, wet and warm, it starts to grow. Well, now they want to stop that process because they don't want it to grow. So this is where, how do I put this? Okay, so how you stop it, you dry it out and it just stops growing. So what a maltster will do is there's a lot of different ways, but in this peated example, is they spread the grain out on this big giant floor and they heat it, okay? And underneath the floor, they're heating it with peat. And what peat is it puts off a smoke, and the smoke comes up and it gets into the malt, and it has that distinct taste, and everybody loves it. Not everybody. I believe peat is a learned flavor. And once you learn, you like it, you love it. All right, so now we got the grains on the floor. They got fire underneath the floor using peat as a fuel. All right, and some of that smoky flavor is just getting into the seed, like I said. All right. So, well, one thing, what is peat? What is the peat? Okay, the peat is, in certain parts of the world, it was a it was a, see, how can I say this? Partially decayed plant material in a boggy area or swampy area. And then what they do is they cut it out and they cut it into blocks and then they dry it, and it's a great fuel, right? So that's what peated is, okay? All right. So we are making a single malt peated whiskey, all right? So what are we going to use? I'm using 2-row barley. This is a peated barley. And I am also going to use some flake barley, which is unmalted. But there is a lot of enzymes in these two, especially this one, this Rictuo, that will convert any other starches it comes in contact over into sugars. All right, so what I want to do is I want to fill out, and I believe a lot of people have seen this worksheet. And the more we use it, I think the better off we can learn how to use it. This worksheet here. And like I've done before, if you send me an email to stillworks and brewing at gmail.com and request this worksheet, I'll send you a copy over to you. All right. But what I have been doing here lately is I've been filling out. I also, when I send this to people, I also sell a filled out one so that they can kind of look at it and see how the math is working, and it helps them figure it out. All right. And one thing I did add to the worksheet, well, we'll get to that. All right. So let me get set up, and what we'll do is we are going to go through this filled out worksheet, and then we'll see how much grain we need, okay? All right, so let me get set up and then I'll be right back. Okay, so let's fill out our worksheet. I mean, I already filled it out, and just to help you follow along. Okay, recipe name, of course, is going to be a peated whiskey. Starting gravity, desired target. Okay, I'm going to shoot for 1.091. If I get 8.0 or 8.5, I'd be happy with that also. Course to date and the mash size. I am doing a 6-gallon mash. All right. And I figured that my brew house efficiency is right around 80%. It's very hard to get all, 100% of the efficiency out of your mash. So 80% is pretty good for me. Okay, so now we got that information done. Let's move on down to the next. Okay, the starting gravity desired, what you do is -1, so just put down 90. Yeah, 90, all right? 90 times 6 gallons equals 540 points. Okay. Now you might have a question. Some people might have a question let me grab one. If you look on your specific gravity hydrometer, okay, it's a triple scale, right? So these are all gravity points. So right here it would be 1.090 right there. See what I'm talking about? So these are points. And if you can correlate that is to how much sugar that you have in a liquid that you're going to ferment, and it tells you how much alcohol potential alcohol that you might have. Okay, nothing is written in stone, but we should be close. Okay, so 540 target points. All right, let's move down to the next. And this is a brew house efficiency adjustment. And I know there's other math equations you could do this with. It's just one I do. So if I had 540 points times 80% equals 486 efficiency points. And down here is 500 points minus that 486. So my adjustment would be 54 points. Got it? You with me so far? Okay, so if we have the 540 points plus the brewhouse efficiency adjustment of 54, add it together, we got 594 adjusted target points. And that's our number we need right there. So all this was just to get to that number. Okay. So, all right, now let's talk ingredients. So we decided the ingredients we wanted to use was the peated malt, the 2-row barley, and flake barley, right? All right. So if you look at a PPG chart, peated malt has a rating of 38 ppgs. That's points per pound per gallon. So if you had 1 pound of the peated malt in 1 gallon of water, you should be able to get 38 points. And that'd be 38 points on there, right? All right. So we're going to go with the 2-row. Is 37 points, and the flake barley, you would get 32 points. You total them together, it's 107, make an average. So our average is 35 points of all that. That's the average, okay? All right, to finish this box up, we have 594 points divided by 35. So it equals 17. So what we need is 17 pounds to make this recipe work to get it at 1.090. Hopefully. All right. This right here, forget about that for right this second. We'll come back to that. Okay. Woo. All right, so we know we got peated malt, 2-row barley, and flaked barley. All right, so what we want in our recipe is we want 50% of it to be the peated malt, 40 the 2-row, and 10% of the flake barley. It's easy to figure out. So 17 times 50% is 8.5 pounds. The 2-row would be at 17 pounds would be 40% of the mash bill would be 7 pounds, and the flake would be 2 pounds. Okay, we are right on the money. All right. So that is our recipe right there for a 6-gallon mash. Now, this other one I just added here, which in this case, it don't really much matter, but it's what the heck. If you had a like a corn-based something, it would come more in play, but not in this because it's all malts, all grains, or barleys. Okay, so it's a Littner check. So what Littner is diastatic power, same thing. Remember we told the seed has, it produces enzyme more than it needs for itself, and it will lend the rest of the enzymes over to whatever else it comes in contact with. Like say you had corn in a barley, in a bourbon, well, it don't have no enzymes in, so we need something in there to help convert over to corn, the starches into corn. And that's where this would come in play a lot. So, it's easy. 8.5 pounds of the peated malt times, okay, the Littner for peated malt is 120, right? So use 8.5 times 120 equals 1,020. The 2-row, all right, we're using 7 pounds, and then you time that by 140, that's the Littner it has, equals 980. Now here, flake barley, it has no, remember I told you it was unmalted, so it has no Littner in it, so it is 0. All right, so we add that up together. It's 2006 divided by 17. That equals 117 Littner in that grain. Okay. They say that you need somewhere between 30 and 40 lintner to do any kind of mash. Okay, so with 117, we got plenty in this recipe. That's like I said, you know, it's mainly malted barley and two malted barleys, right? So we got plenty of lintner. Okay. All right. So that is our Stillworks and Brewing recipe green worksheet. And like I said before, if you send me an email to stillworksandbrewing@gmail.com and request a copy of this, I'll send you the electric file over to you. And I will also send one that's filled out like this, so you can double check what you're filling out is, and you can see the math works. Okay, so, all right, let me be back. Okay, so that's our worksheet, and you know, it will work with any recipe that you're trying to figure out. We always like to make our own recipes, and just a little information will make sure it helps you. It is just as a reference. I hope it always worked out for me, but it just helps you start guiding your adventure on to what you're trying to make, especially if you kind of making a recipe up for yourself that's, you know, for your own distilled spirits that you like. And it's a starting point. So once you make it, you know, you take somebody like Woodford's, they probably did not come up with their excellent bourbon on the first try. They made it, they adjusted until they felt that it is perfect, and it is very tasty. It's one of my favorites. All right, so this is part one. All right, what are we going to do next? All right, on the next week, we are actually going to make this recipe, okay? And we'll make that mash, and then that will be able to tell us one thing. It will be able to tell us if this was close, because once we're all done, we're going to check the specific gravity, and hopefully it will be within that 1.090, you know? And that would be our first test, right? All right. Whew, that's a lot of yakking for me. What can I say? Okay, so I'm hoping that peated, where's it at? Right here. It's not like smelling a campfire, but it is. It's got a distinct smoky taste. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Okay, I guess the last thing I got to say is, hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next week here on Stillworks and Brewing. Cheers, everybody.